Once upon a time, when Field Mouse was out gathering wild beans for the winter, his neighbor, the buffalo, came down to graze in the meadow. This the little mouse did not like, for he knew that the other would mow down all the long grass with his prickly tongue, and there would be no place in which to hide. He made up his mind to offer battle like a man. "Ho, friend buffalo, I challenge you to a fight," he exclaimed in his small, squeaking voice. The buffalo paid no attention, thinking it was only a joke. The mouse angrily repeated his challenge, and still the enemy went on quietly grazing. Then the little mouse laughed with contempt. At long last, the buffalo looked at the little mouse. "You had better keep out of my way, little one, or I shall come over there and step on you, and there will be nothing left." "You can't do that," replied the little mouse. "I tell you, keep still," insisted the buffalo, who was getting angry. "If you speak to me again, I certainly shall put an end to you." "I dare you to do it," said the mouse, provoking him. Thereupon, the buffalo rushed upon him. He trampled the grass clumsily, and he tore at the earth with his front hooves. When he had ended, he looked around for the little mouse, but he could not see him anywhere. Just then, he felt a scratching inside his ear. He shook his head hard as he could, and he twitched his ears back and forth. The gnawing went deeper and deeper until he was half mad with pain. He pawed at the earth, and he tore it up with his hooves and horns. Bellowing madly, he ran as fast as he could, straight forward, and then in circles. And at long last, he stopped, and he stood, trembling. Then the mouse jumped out of his ear and said, "Will you now know that I am the master?" "No!" bellowed the buffalo, and again started towards the mouse, as if to trample him under his feet. The little fellow was nowhere to be seen. But in a minute, the buffalo felt him in the other ear. Once more he became wild with pain and ran here and there over the prairie, at times leaping high in the air. At last he fell to the ground and lay quite still. The mouse came out of his ear and stood proudly upon the dead body. "E-oh!" he said. "I have killed the greatest of all beasts. This will show that I am the master." Standing upon the body of the buffalo, he called loudly for a knife with which to dress his game. In another part of the meadow, Red Fox was hungry and hunting mice for his breakfast. He saw one and jumped upon it with all 4 feet, but the little mouse got away. Fox was terribly disappointed. All at once he thought he heard a distant call. "Bring a knife! Bring a knife!" When the second call came, Red Fox started in the direction of the sound, and at the first knoll he stopped and listened. Hearing nothing more, he was about to go back, and just then he heard the call plainly, but in a very thin voice. "Bring a knife!" Red Fox immediately set out again and ran as fast as he could. By and by he came to the huge body of the buffalo lying on the ground. The little mouse stood upon the body. "I want you to dress the buffalo for me, and I will give you some of the meat," commanded the mouse. "Thank you, my friend. I shall be glad to do that for you," he replied plainly. The fox dressed the buffalo while a mouse sat upon the mound nearby, looking on and giving orders. "You must cut the meat into small pieces," he said to the fox. When the fox had finished the work, The mouse paid him with a very small piece of liver. Fox swallowed it quickly and smacked his lips. "Please, may I have another piece?" he said humbly. "Why, I gave you a very large piece. How greedy you are!" exclaimed the mouse. "You may have some of the blood clots," he sneered. So the poor fox took the blood clots and even licked the grass. He was really very hungry. "Please, may I take home a piece of the meat?" he begged. "I have 6 little foxes and a wife, and there is nothing for them to eat." "You may take the 4 feet of the buffalo. That ought to be enough." "Hiya! Thank you, mouse, thank you. But I don't think that will be enough." "Why," declared the mouse, "I have overpaid you for the little work you have done. However, you can take the head also." Thereupon, the fox jumped upon the mouse, who gave one faint squeak and disappeared. The moral of the story: if you are proud and selfish, you will lose all in the end. And from Charlotte, may we all have and know generosity and gratitude during 2018.